Hey there, my name is Caitlin and welcome back to Fragrance University's soap course. Now that you know all about cold process soap, let's move on to hot process soap. What exactly is it and how is it different than other types of soap? Well, hot process soap starts in the exact same way cold process does. Sodium hydroxide lye is dissolved into a liquid, usually distilled water, and then mixed with various fats and butters to produce soap. The ingredients all still go through saponification. However, unlike cold process, this is done in a crock pot to heat up and change how the soap cures. When made in a warming device such as a crock pot, the curing process is sped up. After the soap cools and hardens in the mold, it's ready to be used within about a week. This is a big change from the 4 to 6 weeks that cold process needs to cure. Hot process soap, on the other hand, has a much different look than cold process. It presents a much more rustic appearance and is more difficult to create intricate designs with. Don't let this change how you see hot process. It can still be used to make beautiful and skin-loving soaps. To make hot process soap, you'll need all the same basic ingredients and supplies as cold process. Your oil recipes can contain all the same components such as olive oil, palm oil, babassu oil, and shea butter. There is no limit to the oil recipes you can use to make hot process, but just make sure you're keeping the soap balanced. Too many soft oils and your bars may end up mushy. Too many firm oils like palm and coconut and your bars could end up brittle and drying. Hot process soap begins by dissolving lye into water. This mixture will become very hot. At the same time, the oils in the recipe should be fully melted and warmed in the crock pot. This is especially important for solid oils like palm and coconut. Once they have fully melted, any other oils and butters can be incorporated into the mixture. Then, the fully dissolved lye water solution can be slowly poured into the oil mixture once the two are within 10 degrees of each other. It's important that the aqueous lye is poured slowly and carefully into the crock pot to prevent any spillage. Allowing it to pour down the stem of the immersion blender is a good way to do so. Just like cold process, the two components can now be blended together using variations of short blending pulses and hand stirring until trace is reached. Trace is noticeable by the trails the blender will leave in it, as well as the thin drizzles of leaves. Your mixture should be free of any extra oil or lye water when trace is reached. A common trick used by many soap makers is to lightly place the tip of your tongue on some of the soap to see if it zaps them. If it does, there's still lye in the mixture that needs to be saponified. Once the lye water and oils have fully emulsified, the soap can then be left to cook on low. It will bubble up on the side, so you should check on it every now and then to ensure that it does not burst out of the crock pot. The purpose of using a crock pot is to essentially cook the soap through gel phase. When the soap is ready for additives and molding, it will have a waxy and shiny appearance. Every recipe has a slightly different cooking time, so the process can take as short as 30 minutes and as long as a couple hours. Now the soap is ready to have fragrance and colorant added. It's recommended to wait until the soap has cooled down to about 180 degrees or lower. Otherwise, some of your fragrance will be cooked off. This will give you a weaker smelling soap. It's important to work quickly, as the more the soap cools, the thicker it will become. While it's possible to make swirls and layers with hot process soap, it takes a little bit of practice and a different technique. Starting off with 1 or 2 colors is best for beginners. The soap will need to be scooped in a mold rather than poured like cold process soap, which gives hot process a rustic appearance. The top can be left with dollops of soap or smoothed out before being left to cool. Now the soap just needs to cool and harden. It does not need much extra time to cure like cold process, but it should be left for 2 to 3 days. Doing so will result in a firmer, more stable bar. The quick cure time is one of the biggest benefits of hot process soap making. If you want to learn about how to color and fragrance your soap, make sure to check out the entirety of Fragrance Use soap course. Coming up next, we'll be taking a look at the final soap type you can make, liquid soap. Until then, my name is Caitlin and we hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!